So we will understand the URL clearly, and we'll actually move ahead with a different topic. Okay. So we are actually here. Let me just take this out. So this is actually called base URL. Okay. For my instance, they have given dev 889924. For you, they might have given some different number. Okay. So if you go to any organization, let us say if you go to TCS, so they will have something like this. So that is actually enterprise enterprise instance. Ours is actually demo instance. Demo means practicing purpose. So companies will be using enterprise instances. They will be paying some amount to the ServiceNow company for using this ServiceNow platform. So this is actually called base URL, guys. Okay. To the base URL, if you want to add, if you want to open a new record, we all know, we have already discussed. If you want to open case record, u underscore case.do. Question mark, sysID is equal to -1. That means it will open new form. So on the new form, if you want to populate the values automatically from the URL also you can populate the values. So here, right? Okay. So from the URL, if you want to populate the value in the description, from the URL, if you want to populate the value in the description, what exactly you can do is, and okay, you will have to use sysparam underscore query. Sysparam underscore query. Remember this keyword. Sysparam underscore query is equal to. So always remember, guys, being a ServiceNow administrator or developer, we won't be using labels. Labels are nothing but description, short description, category, subcategory, column. These are called labels. So the backend name of this field. So if you go to the dictionary, you can go to the dictionary by right-clicking on this dictionary. So field is nothing but dictionary in the ServiceNow platform. So you go to configure dictionary, you will directly go to the field. So what is the field name here? U underscore description. So being a ServiceNow administrator or developer, we will be always dealing with the names, not labels. Name is for end users. Sorry, label is for end users. Name is for developers. Okay. So we will be using U underscore description. So always remember, guys. So table name, you can find it using directly here, U underscore description. Okay. So here, right? U underscore description. You always remember, guys. So table name, you can find it using directly here, U underscore description. So U underscore description is equal to test 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. If I use the same URL and hit enter here, it will open the new case form. It will open the new case form and populate test 45678 in the description field. See, in the description, is it populated or not? Okay. So if you want to populate, short description. So what exactly you do? You will go here. You will use caret symbol. Caret symbol is nothing but yeah. So this is actually called caret symbol. And U underscore short description. What is U underscore short description, guys? This is actually a field name of short description name. U underscore short. So we don't need labels. We always deal with the names. We don't deal with the labels. We always deal with the names. Okay. So U underscore short description is equal to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember, guys, I have used sysparam underscore query is equal to only once. I did not use here. Okay. So now I am going to hit this URL here. See, in the short description and description, the values are populated. How did I populate these values? From the URL. So likewise, guys, you can do a lot of things from the URL. Okay. I didn't get you. Yeah, see, if you want to populate the assignment group, caller or subcategory, category, whatever the stuff that you want to populate, you can populate it. Understand? If you want to populate field 1, field 2, field 3. So suppose if I have to populate the value in the field 3. So what is the field name of field 3? Field name of field 3. Tell me, guys. There is a field called field 3. So what is the field name here? So to see the field name, you will see U underscore field underscore 3. So now what I do is I will use a caret symbol here again. U underscore field underscore 3 is equal to Uday. Yeah, caret is nothing but end. Yeah. So now I am just hitting here. See, field 3 is also populated. So you are able to understand, right, from the URL, how to open the new form and how to populate the values from the URL. So as we already know how to open the list from the URL, you already know. So how to open the list from the URL, we already know.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, no, sir, I was checking because my mic was not working earlier to ask the doubt. Okay,
Go ahead,
thank you,
please.
sir. No, I was just checking whether my mic is working or not.
Yeah, please. Okay, got it. Go
Okay,
on mute.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So here, right, what exactly I'm doing is I'm actually taking out this base URL. To the base URL, I'm actually using whatever the table list that you want to open, you will use that table name. This time, I'm going to use incident table. So incident. So if you want to open the list, you will use underscore list dot do. Okay. Question mark. So first we will actually give a try. So it will actually open the incident list. Okay, it will open the incident list. From this list, if you want to query the records from the URL, say, remember one thing. If you want to query the records from the URL, we understand how to query from the filter, how to query from the column searches, how to query from the banner search as well. But now we are actually learning how are we going to query the records from the URL. Okay. If short description contains keyword Uday, only I want to show those records. If short description contains keyword Uday, only I want to query those records. So what you do is, question mark. Okay, you will use same line. Sysparam underscore query is equal to, okay, description. Okay, description. See here, right? I'm actually using equal to right here. Contains is actually called like in the URL, like Uday. Okay, so now I'm going to hit this URL here. So where is description? I have to add description on the form, on the list. Description is here. I didn't get you. So we should always deal with a table. We should always deal with names, not labels. Description field name is what? You underscore description. We ServiceNow administrator or developer, we will be dealing with the field names, table names, not labels.
Uday, can you please tell me about this Sysparam query underscore query? What this means? What exactly it will be?
See, this is actually ServiceNow provided parameter,
Okay.
which is used to populate the values on the form, which is used to query the records from the list. Okay.
Yes.
Sysparam query underscore. Description like Uday. But it is not showing exact match, right? I will actually explain the things. Description like Uday. Simple logic. Why is it not working? We are actually on which table? Incident. Incident is out of box table or ServiceNow provided table, or we created one?
Out of box
Out
table.
of box.
Out of box one, right? Okay. Out of box one, the table name doesn't start with U underscore. The field name description on the incident form is actually an out of box one. This description is actually an out of box one. Okay. This description name also doesn't start with U underscore. If you take a look at the description here, this doesn't start with U underscore. So what exactly we have done here in the URL? We have actually kept U underscore here. We have to remove U underscore here. It's small logic, guys. You are able to find out the difference. See, I have actually queried the records from the URL, isn't it? Hello. Now, if I have to keep an extra condition, so what I have to do is I have to use caret symbol here and short description. Short description like test. Okay. So here the condition is the description contains keyword Uday and short description contains keyword test. So it will actually query those records. So I am going to hit this URL here. See? How many records are there? 41 records are there. Guys, remember, always remember, in your ServiceNow career, you will be playing with URL. You will be playing with URL many times. Okay. So now you understand how to open the form, how to populate the values on the form from the URL. I'm asking. I'm actually explaining. So how to open the list from the URL, how to query the list from the URL. So now we will understand how to download the records from the URL. I want to download the incident records from the URL or case records from the URL. So if I have to download the case records from the URL, what I have to do? So I will actually remove this condition here. So in place of incident, I'll use case table. So what is the case table name? U underscore case. So I have to download the records. I have to download the records. Question mark. So if I want to download in the Excel sheet, I will use Excel sheet here. Okay. So copy. If you hit enter here, you will be able to download the records in the Excel sheet. So in the case table, I think we have actually 6 records. All the 6 records will be downloaded here. Okay. So if you have to download incident records, so in place of U underscore case, you will keep incident. See, all the incidents are getting downloaded here. See, all the incident records are downloaded here. So I want to download the records where description contains keyword Uday. I want to download the record where description contains keyword Uday. So with the description keyword Uday, how many records are there? 41 records are there. I have to download only 41 records. So how do I have to do here? So I have to use query, and sysparam query is equal to description like. Why am I using description here? Not u underscore. Hello. So see guys, I have actually downloaded the records. So it will be only 41 records now. You guys can see there are only 41 records that are only 29 records downloaded. Hmm? No, it is not about page. Hmm. So in the incident table with the description keyword Uday, how many records are there? 41 records are there. It has to download 41 records. Is it downloading 20? Okay, got my point. Got your point. So here, right, I did not use like, I did use equal to. So here, right, contains is different, equal to is different. I'm using like here. Now it will download 41 records. This time it has downloaded all the records. Guys, please go on mute. Yeah. So this time it has downloaded only 42 records. If you want to keep an extra condition, what do you use? You will use caret symbol here. Okay. So you will keep the condition something like this. Caret symbol, field name like something like this. So you are able to understand how to download the records in the Excel sheet. Let us say if there are 1 lakh records. See, we have 160 records, 10 records, 50 records, something like that in our table. In the IT organizations, they will have a lot of data, 1 lakh records, 2 lakhs records, 5 lakhs records, 1 crore data, 1 crore records. What do you do in this case? ServiceNow by default only allow you to download 10,000 records. Suppose if you have to download 2 lakh records, what do you do? You will have to adjust the settings. By default, you are allowed to download only 10,000 records. If you want to download 2 lakh records, 3 lakh records, so you will have to adjust the settings. There are some settings which we have to adjust. import export. In the import export, see, exporting is nothing but downloading. So here by default Excel format by default 10,000, limit I think 5 lakhs, till 5 lakhs records you can download. So I'm actually downloading the records in the Excel sheet, right? So you can download the records in the CSV format. Okay, you can download the records in the Excel format, XML format, JSON format, PDF format. Okay, and CSV format. We have a lot of we have multiple ways to download. So if I have to download the records in the CSV format, in place of Excel, you will use CSV. Okay. The CSV file is different. Excel file is different. CSV file is different. Okay. And if you want to download it in a PDF format, you will use PDF. Now the records will be downloaded in a PDF format. See, it is actually downloaded in the PDF format. So if you want to download it in a XML format, you can use XML here. So all this is actually, so you can directly give this URL for XML format and all. All these are incident records that are in XML format. So if you want to download this in a XML format, right? So you can actually download it from the XML format as well. But you are not able to download it. So what you can do is you can go here, go to export and XML. The file will be downloaded in the XML format. Okay. Yeah. So likewise, guys, from the URL, you can do a lot of stuff. Okay. From the URL, you can actually change the view as well. You can change the view as well. So you guys are clear, right? So you will be working on this URL a lot of times. Keep these things in your mind. You will be building these URLs. You will be making these fields, making these URLs dynamic. So far, I have actually used test 5678. This is the static value that I have provided. There might be some dynamic values coming from somewhere. So this is nothing but building the URL. So you have to understand how to build the URL as well. See how to build the URL and all that I'll actually just explain you. Okay, this in place of test 5678. So I'm actually taking var description equal to, okay. So I have actually taken this in a variable description. I have taken this test 5678. I have taken this in a description. So this is actually a static one now. this can be dynamic. This can be dynamic. How we can make dynamic? Using ServiceNow APIs like current dot description. So this value will be coming from somewhere. This value will be coming from somewhere. So whatever the value that comes from somewhere, right? Current dot description means that value will be coming from current form. Whatever the value that is coming, right, that you will store here. So what do you do here, right? You will actually add this here. Okay. So this description value, whatever comes here, that will be the description value here. This is how you will be building the URLs. See, standard URL is different. Standard URL is different. Making that URL dynamic is different. Standard means regularly you will be using the same URL. Same URL means standard URL. Rather than using standard URL, if you are making that URL as dynamic, that is actually called development. You are developing the URL. Hope you are able to understand. So this part we will be discussing in detail in coming sessions. No worries. I've just given the basics. How exactly we use this URL concept in coming sessions, we will be able to understand. Hope this concept is clear for everyone. Okay. So any other questions, guys?